Special question, Arnold's Jewelry has a great selection of beautiful engagement rings. Need a birthday gift? Check out their gold chains for men and women or browse their gift gallery for great specialty gift items, and gift wrapping is free. Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery, 228 South Washington Street, Shelby. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday 9 to 3. Check them out on Facebook or call 704-487-4521. Mountain View Antiques at 121 Shannon Bradley Road in Gastonia would like to take this time and invite you to join them for their third-year anniversary celebration the weekend of September 30th through October 2nd. There'll be free door prizes and $50 gift certificates to be given away each day. There'll be thousands of antiques and collectibles to choose from. The third anniversary celebration, September 30th through October 2nd at Mountain View Antiques, 121 Shannon Bradley Road in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook, too.
It's a huge fall sale at Sheila Sheds in Cherryville and Shelby. Now for a limited time, all carports are 5% off and all buildings are 10% off. Offer good on in-stock inventory. Save on barns, sheds, portable buildings, and more. Sheila Sheds, 2261 Highway 150 East in Cherryville, next to Ferguson's Ace Hardware. Also at 2104 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. For Cherryville, call 704-802-4610. For Shelby, call 704-406-9185 or after hours 704-300-4254, and like them on Facebook too.
See Sheila Sheds at this year's Cleveland County Fair. Look for their booth right across from the fire department.
First snap, I lay your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sit the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on them big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Call the special teams, don't punt the ball, and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Learjet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win, win.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby, North Carolina Prep Football Pregame Show. I'm Kevin Hastings, along with Shannon Allen and Dennis Davis tonight. Thursday night football, guys. Thursday night football. I'm scrambling to press buttons and get people in the right spots, but we'll get everything going here in a little bit. We've got 4 broadcasts tonight for you guys here on KTC Broadcasting. Over in, let's start in Rutherford County tonight. The Hendersonville Bearcats are at the Chase Trojans in a big, huge matchup in that conference. We'll break down that here in just a little bit. Then that is on WAGY, WAGYFM.com, 1390 AM and 107.5 FM up in Rutherford County area. If you're on that side of Shelby, west side of Shelby, 107.5 for Hendersonville and Chase. If you're listening to my voice right now, you can hear on 101.5 FM or 1390 AM the Crest Chargers and the South Point Red Raiders. And Sheriff Lyman's off tonight, folks. Are you folks listening on WCSL 92.9 in Gaston County in South Carolina? Up in Lincoln County, you guys can hear my voice right now on 92.9 and 1590 AM. You guys get the special treat of Crest and South Point as well tonight. Ooh. So double dipper on those channels. Now we got 2 other broadcasts live in Lincoln County tonight. The David Potter's up at Bandy's for Lincoln and Wolves and the Bandy's Trojans tonight. Out of county tonight, the North Lincoln game, folks. North Lincoln. Note, if you're looking on Max Prep and thinking about going to that game, it has been moved to North Iredale. North Lincoln is at North Iredale tonight. We will not have coverage of that game. With that moving, we ended up going with Lincoln at Bandy's here in that conference. So for you folks listening on 92.9 right now, want to listen to the Lincoln County game of the week, we got the Wolves tonight on Bandy's. Now that game, you go to ktcbroadcasting.com and find the links. You can go to KTC Broadcasting Twitter and Facebook pages to find the links. But most importantly, you can go to YouTube, type in lincolncounty.com or Lincoln at Bandy's, and it should pull up and find that on YouTube. You can listen to that live, audio only on YouTube tonight. That game will be on YouTube, but the links are on all of our KTC Broadcasting stuff. If you have trouble, if you need help finding it, please call the office. We'll let you know how to get that. All right, and then finally tonight, live video tonight, and with a little extra, I think I got our sideline camera tonight working, guys. So we will have sideline reporter on the sidelines, Zach Mayu, up at Bessemer City and Burns tonight. Tom Sinefani and special guest announcer, longtime Bessemer City man, Holbrook, varsity football coach and track coach and girls basketball coach Brian Nichols will join the broadcast tonight. Matt Royster has the night off, so Brian will be representing Bessemer City tonight with the broadcast with Burns. So if you guys tune it in and listen, hear a different voice, you're listening to Mr. Nichols tonight. And good luck to Brian and the gang on the broadcast tonight. Tom and those guys will treat you nice up there. And then we've got other games across the board. Shannon, first of all, update everybody on last week's scores. This is last Friday night scores, everybody.
All right, so it was East Gaston defeating Cherryville 38-0. Bessemer City over Highland Tech 60-14. Crest Chargers defeated Stuart Kramer 54-28. Chase Trojans all over East Rutherford 55-9. Or if that's 55-0, I can't see. I can't read his right. Anyway, Lincoln edged by Newton Conover 22-21. It was the Maiden Blue Devils defeated West Lincoln 27-17. Bandy's over East Burke 35-14. It was South Point defeating Hunter Huss 35-7. Kings Mountain all over North Gaston 56-0. It was Forest View defeating Ashbrook 24-21. Shelby over Thomas Jefferson 55-6. And it was Hendersonville defeating Polk County 32-21. Brevard defeating R Central 44-6. And Bunker Hill over West Caldwell 52-6. Dennis, you want to read that right side?
Okay. On the right side here, Community School of Davidson defeated Mountain Island Charter 56-6. Carver pulled out a squeaker 14-12 over Bishop McGinnis. Pine Lake Prep beat Winston-Salem Prep 48-6. Drone took care of Avery County 57-7. I don't know if we ever got a final on that West Charlotte game, but we had 7-0 there most of the night.
That was a final. Yeah.
That's a final? Yes, sir. They had a little problem with that game, too, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, nobody could score.
They had a bad call. Yeah, the touchdown the guy dropped it, and they called it a touchdown anyway. So
surely the ref wouldn't make
he missed that. Well, I think what I heard, they were short on referees because the referees were state short on officials, and they didn't have a side judge, and the guy in the back thought he caught it, and I guess he was just at the wrong angle. The guy was blocking him where he couldn't see but the guy caught the ball going down. He bounced on the ground. You saw it bounce, and he caught it again, falling down, and they called it a touchdown.
There you go. St. Stephen's versus the North Iredell Raiders. St. Stephen's 21-7. North Lincoln had a tough time with Hickory. Hickory beat them 29-22. West Iredell beat Fred T. Ford 26-8. East Lincoln Mustangs had got it in cruise control on that Mustang, 28-7 over the Statesville Greyhounds. It was the Mitchell Mountaineers 49, the Owen Warhorses 26. East Surrey Cardinals 63, North Surrey Greyhounds 24. It was the Wilkes Central Eagles 50 and the Surrey Central Eagles 34. One Eagle's better than the other, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
It was Forbush and West Wilkes in a nail biter. Forbush won it 21-20, and Elkin lost to East Wilkes 63-21. Kevin, that's all we had for last week.
Shannon, are you a vampire? I'm pulling up the camera on the screen. You're not showing up. I think you're a vampire.
Ooh.
There's something you need to tell us, sir. There you are.
There he is.
Nah, you're not a vampire. I just had the wrong corner. Anyway.
Computer error.
Believe it or not, Shannon is not a vampire. I think.
Nope.
All right. I got some highlights from last week, guys. We're going to show you folks, for the folks at home. These are, let's see if I can press all my buttons right. These are the highlights from last week's games. And we're going to start. Let's see where we want to start. Start. How about we'll start with one of the lower scoring games. Well, how about we'll start with Shelby and Jefferson. This is not a lower scoring game. I'll let Shannon kind of talk through this game for the folks on the radio. He got there a little bit late, pretty much, but it was all kinds of stuff going on. Shannon and Shelby Town. Yeah, after one quarter, Jefferson 6-0, right?
Yeah, it was 7-6 when I got there, and this play here is supposed to be a lateral pass to Isaiah Bridges, and he fumbled it, and it lost about 10 yards, but he takes off just running straight down the field, and Thomas Jefferson Dennis didn't have anybody to stop him. Even the guy had the angle there at the end of the play, so it was about an 80-yard run for a touchdown.
That wasn't an intentional.
I'm gonna back that up for the people watching at home. This might have been our player of the night too, folks. Tips it back, gets around him, and off to the races.
There he goes.
Mr. Bridges can fly. We'll say his name a few times in this highlight, right, Shannon?
Yeah, he scored, I think, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I believe so.
Off of passes. So the next one is Dalen Lee, going to keep it himself off the left side, pretty much untouched, and for the keeper and for Shelby. Then Lee, here is the Isaiah, just right down the middle of the field, just running a little post route. Again, the problem was they just didn't have the speed to keep up with him. And Bryson Key takes off the right side and just makes a good cutback in the middle of the field and scores on about a 10-yard touchdown run. And then Lee again to Bridges, a little screen out here. And, Thomas Jefferson didn't adjust to him at all. Then this pass here, I think this is one of the prettiest plays here. Just Lee hits Bridges in stride, just running. And, Thomas Jefferson had decent coverage, but he just found that little seam and caught it. And then the freshman, Jalen, I can't remember his name, Jalen Tate, yeah. He scores on a touchdown run there. So then you
hear the band a little bit. They teach the directions of it.
They do.
We got left, we got right.
Yeah, up and down.
The other stuff.
And that's one, and that's one good thing I like about what's going on now at these games with the band. Then it's the student body is not just there; it's everywhere. Student body really gets into it. Unlike that, I think it was about a 7-8 year period. The student body didn't get into it as much, but now they're back at it full force everywhere. You see that. So that hats off to them for being at the game. And tonight's homecoming at Shelby, so it'll be probably about the same thing.
Let me pause that for a second. I was waiting on Brent to get back to me. Do you know if Carly's a senior? She's in homecoming tonight.
She's a senior.
Okay.
I think she's a senior.
So good luck to her. Brent Pasco not on the broadcast tonight, taking care of that. So good luck to the Pascos over there for homecoming court. Not supposed to say you hope somebody wins. Hope Carly wins for Pascos.
And a great soccer player, too.
So Jeff Jones, good soccer. Jeff Jones and Robbie will be doing the Crest game tonight for us over there. So
two Crest boys.
Yeah. All right. Here is for the folks watching at home. I know the folks listening can't quite hear, but here this is the Newton Conover and Lincoln highlights. Now, folks, these touchdown highlights aren't much. They're about 2, 3, 4, 5 yards apiece. So there was no big plays. They had a big play called back. Was a big interception in the game, but for the most part, touchdowns. You'll see a couple dives here. Newton Conover started off 7-0. Then Lincoln came back, made it 8-7, and then Newton Conover starts pulling away early, 15-8. They go up on the Wolves. I don't know, like a 7-8 yard run here. Then Newton Conover goes up 21-8 from 1 yard out. Lincoln in the black tops, yellow bottoms, yellow gold. 15-21. Lincoln pushes in with a big pile here, Dennis. Big giant pile of Wolves. Then from about a half yard out, another big giant pile of Wolves. And this is the game winner, making it 22-1. Folks, listen for the crowd roar. Wait, there it is. They got the
22-1
touchdown on the win, 22-1 over Newton Conover, Mr. Davis. Now let's head over. This was Brevard and East Rutherford. The Blue Devils put on a pretty good showing up here over at the Cavaliers with a big win. Fit coach Philip Russ and the gang at East Rutherford. Tanner Halbert with the highlights. He's over at the Chase game tonight. Blue Devils started off 7-0 run from about 1 yard out. And then Nashawn Griffin, he got another 1 yard touchdown run. Brevard, of course, in the blue and white. East Rutherford here just missed the tackle, and Nashawn Griffin out again. I misspelled his name for the folks watching online. I'm sorry, Mr. Griffin. Blue Devils up. I didn't get a number on this one. Quarterback dumps it off to the end around. The wide receiver, good pass. Good little play design right there. Fooled the linebacker whoever had him there. Landon Flynn, 3 yard touchdown run, though, for East Rutherford. Congratulations, Landon. This cut the lead 7-27. East Rutherford trying to get back in the game, but Brevard pulls away up 40-6 on this big run. And that's how that game would finish. Shannon, Brevard, 40-6 here on KTC Broadcasting. Next up, highlights. Let's go over. I got 2 or 3 more. Statesville and North Lincoln. This will be quick. 15-9 game, guys. I mean, that was 2 weeks ago. We're not going to watch that one. Went back a little bit too far there on that one. How about, all right, we did Shelby, Lincoln, Chase. Let's do Bessemer City. No, let's go over to Crest first. We'll do Crest first. Bessemer got a note on that one. All right, this is Crest over at Kramer last week. RJ had this with Rob on the broadcast as well. Brent did this one. And no sound on this one. I don't know what happened with it. Rockamore brought Kramer within 7-14 with a touchdown pass. Then Husky made it 22-7, finding Malachi Addison down the right sideline.
Glad to see him getting involved a little bit more after his injuries earlier in the season.
Javarius Green with 2 rushing touchdowns on end rounds in this game. Marco Dale scores for Kramer on the run. Then Husky, he gets in on a run of his own. Then Rockamore, nice little pass here. Rolling right, you don't see this much. Rolling right finds the left corner of the end zone for the touchdown.
He's always dangerous, Kevin.
Husky then finds Tajay Borders there in the front corner of the end zone for a touchdown. And then finally, Kramer scores in the corner with a final score 20-54-28. Chargers win over the Stormmen tonight. Like I said, they're going down to South Point to deal with the Red Bone tonight, Dennis.
And this score just in, it's South Point 7, Crest nothing.
All right. 2 more highlights. Let's go over to, let's see, Maiden, 27-17 last week. Mason Beam had this game tonight, or last Friday night. Rebels just can't quite get through the Blue Devils, Shannon. Can't bust through it.
Last year they did in the regular season, but then
Almost,
the playoffs.
they lost.
Yeah. I thought they won. They didn't win in the regular season?
Lost by 1.
Oh, okay.
Almost at home.
Almost.
Wesley Thompson started off with a 26-yard touchdown pass to Christopher Color. UNC signing,
Yeah, he's just a different playmaker for Maiden.
And Jalen Winnick from 5 yards out. touchdown. I think he's the third leading rusher in the area. Mason Avery's number 1. Ben Gibbs, 2-yard touchdown run for the Blue Devils, made it 13-7. Field goal for the Rebels, 10-3, or 10-13. They were down. Then Mason Avery gave him a lead here, 17-13. As no Blue Devils want to tackle him at all. Wesley Thompson, 16-yard pass to Ben Gibbs on this one. What a nice little catch here, but I bet it was a great.
It's a nice color.
It looked real good.
Right before I put in folks on the radio, the field goal got in the way. Then Culliver gets lost again for the big touchdown here. And they pulled away. West Lincoln falls 27-17 at Maiden. Blue Devils win against the West Lincoln Rebels. And finally, back-to-back weeks, Jameer Holmes sets, then ties his own school record for touchdown passes for Bessemer City. 5 this time. He does it against Highland Tech.
And they won.
Yes, big. Now, we will have the play of the week on this one, Shannon, if you remember from Saturday. Kickoff. Now, I think this is Terrence Smith, but I couldn't quite tell his number on the blurriness, so I didn't want to put it. He runs through the kicker, got the 50, and then he's walking it in from there. That made it 6-0 Jackets. Jameer Holmes and Terrence Smith, 27-yard touchdown to lead off for his first touchdown here for Holmes. Good little pass there. Then Holmes, 20-yard pass to the corner. I couldn't get this kid's number. I made it 20-0. Holmes 28-0 on his third pass. I believe I've already losing one. Yeah, third touchdown pass with a kickoff return. That made 28-0.
What was the coach doing on that?
Fourth, I don't know. Fourth touchdown pass. Little bubble screen. Holmes finds another one. Made it 36-0. Now here's the fumble off the Bessemer City running back's face, and I couldn't get the number. I think it's either 1 or 7 for Highland Tech. I didn't want to put the wrong number. Fumble return touchdown. He was out when he got it, folks. 6-36. Then Javontre Duff. Here's the record time. 5th touchdown. If you'll notice, Duff gets a lot of these touchdowns to keep him fly. Duff and Randall Pettis. Now this is a pick 6. Bubble screen. Cameron Rice Collins with the interception return. Cameron Rice Collins, they name on the radio, son. And then Randall Pettis, just mentioned him again. Good receiver and basketball player. Tosses it up high. Got a floating duck on that one, Dennis. And then he ran through 1 tackle, 2 tackles, 3 tackles. Get off me. 4 tackles. Stiff arm. Number 5, get by me. Nope. And number 6, stiff arm. 60-yard, 60-6. Now, Shannon, play of the night is coming up here in a minute after this Kamari Shepherd touchdown run. I think I put it in this highlight. I better have. I hope I didn't miss it. There it is. All right, Shannon.
Yep.
You remember?
Yep.
Found the number, found the name. Kentrell Degree, Dennis. You remember this play from the other night?
Kentrell Degree.
The blocked punt.
Yep. Oh, the big guy.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can pull this up and make it
He rumbles. He stumbles.
Rumbling, stumbling.
He
Kentrell
could go
Degree.
all the way.
Here we go, Kentrell. Now, Kentrell, the punt is low. So he went about 2 yards on his push and blocked the punt. But he blocks the punt, but
He
straight up in
blocked
the air.
the punt, though, Kevin.
He caught it and then stumbled for about 30 more yards before it took 7 Rams to bring him down. Here we go. Kentrell Degree. Boom. And he's off from the 35 to the 30. Stiff arm, 20, 15, 12. And he set off the liquor scale.
Yeah, he's out of breath.
I
man.
started to say the
Boy.
seismic readings, he didn't quite make it.
Oh, so that's the highlights from last week. We ready for a break? All right, we're going to send it off we'll be back in just a few moments with KDCBroadcasting.com.
There's no use to be cold this coming winter. Head on into Today's Pro in Shelby for warmth and comfort. From gas logs to fireplaces to inserts and more. With name brands like Empire, Monessen, and Buckstone. Be ready for old man winter today with a stop at Today's Pro in Shelby. And they also do service calls. And don't forget they fill those propane cylinders. Just call 704-600-8393. 704-600-8393. Today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at thetodayspro.com. It's time to fudge on your diet. Time to visit McKinley's Fudge in the Go Forth Hall at the Cleveland County Fair. You'll find all your fudge favorites. McKinley's Fudge has been part of the Cleveland County Fair for years. Be sure to get a big bag of fudge at McKinley's Fudge in the Go Forth Hall at the Cleveland County Fair.
Whiskers, Nails, and Puppy Dog Tails at 336 Washburn Switch Road in Shelby provides 5-star full-service grooming and boarding for your beloved dogs and cats. And for 10 years in a row, they've been voted best in Cleveland County for pet boarding. As a Paul Mitchell and Pet Head Salon, they offer special facial packages, mud treatments, and more. And they offer retail. Go check out their great selection of T-shirts. Owner Amber Crawford invites you to let them pamper your pets. Your pets will love it. And while you're there, register for the gas card giveaway. Check them out on Facebook. Call 704-484-2828. Shop Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery for perfect gifts. Choose from their large selection of Citizen Echo Drive watches, always popular and never needs a battery. Getting ready to pop that special question? Arnold's Jewelry has a great selection of beautiful engagement rings. Need a birthday gift? Check out their gold chains for men and women or browse their gift gallery for great specialty gift items, and gift wrapping is free. Arnold's Jewelry and Gift Gallery, 228 South Washington Street, Shelby. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday, 9 to 3. Check them out on Facebook or call 704-487-4521.
It's a huge fall sale at Sheila Sheds in Cherryville and Shelby. Now for a limited time, all carports are 5% off and all buildings are 10% off. Offer good on in-stock inventory. Save on barns, sheds, portable buildings, and more. Sheila Sheds, 2261 Highway 150 East in Cherryville, next to Ferguson's Ace Hardware. Also at 2104 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. For Cherryville, call 704-802-4610. For Shelby, call 704-406-9185 or after hours 704-300-4254, and like them on Facebook too.
See Sheila Sheds at this year's Cleveland County Fair. Look for their booth right across from the fire department.
Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation in Bowling Springs and their Rutherford Chapel in Forest City is proud to serve Rutherford and Cleveland counties and the surrounding areas. Contact them at Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation Service, 132 East College Avenue in Shelby, or Rutherford Chapel, 124 Fairhope Street, Forest City. Call 704-300-2343 or on the web at rsmorganfsl.com. And come by and see them at their booth in Go Forth Hall at this year's Cleveland County Fair. 6 o'clock, WHS Shelby, WCSL Cherryville. Now, speaking to the Cleveland County Fair, let's go out to the fair. Here's Captain Ron. Take it away, buddy.
Thank you there, Calvin. That's right. We are at the Cleveland County Fair here tonight. It's opening night at the Cleveland County Fair, and $8 Thursday, $8 admission for all adults, $5 admission for seniors, $4 admission for kids 6 to 12 years old. And some of the things going on with the entertainment tonight at 6 o'clock, which is right now. Sylvia Fletcher is a ventriloquist outside Weathers Arena. She'll be there 6 o'clock and begins at 8. We got 6:30 and 8:30 tonight. It's Victoria Circus, adjacent to Gate 14. 7 and 9 tonight, right across from our booth. It's Renee Riddle and the Ramblers. That's just outside Dorton Hall. Also coming up at 7:30 tonight and 9 o'clock, it's Hot Diggity Dog and More, and that's adjacent to Gate 14. And all day, it's Agamonsters Chainsaw Art. That's behind Go Forth Hall. Now, the gates in the Midway will close tonight at 11, and the exhibit hall closes at 9. It is $16 ride all day armband today, so come on over. Grab your armbands. You can ride till 11 o'clock tonight. Now, some of our sponsors that's making this possible, we'll let you know about them. J&D Furniture, located at North Lafayette Street in Shelby. Also, Beam Brothers Hardware and Landscaping. They're at 969 Reachville Road in Lincoln. South Mountain Farms, located at 351 Flat Rock Road in Lawndale. Sheila Sheds, located at 2104 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and 2261 Lincoln and Highway 150 East in Cherryville. Also, the Goblin Gourmet, and that's here at the Cleveland County Fair. Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. Keith's Customs, located at 2305 Lincoln and Highway 150 East in Cherryville. Deanna's Concessions here at Cleveland County Fair. Kent Daddy's, and that's at 600 West Church Street in Cherryville. McKinley's Candy, they're in Go Forth Hall at the Cleveland County Fair. And Pet Heaven, they're also here in the Go Forth Hall. Now, we couldn't do this without eating. You know how us DJs are about eating, Calvin. So Roosters is one of our sponsors, and they have some great food. They've got buffalo chicken egg rolls. They've got, fried pickles, Frito pie, and I don't know if you got one of those before you left or not. Fried apple pies and cherry pies as well. Hamburgers, cheeseburgers. They've got Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, corn dogs, liver mush biscuits. They've got chicken nuggets for the kids, hot wings, chili beans. They got that rooster on a stick and a rooster wrap and a rooster leg as well. So that poor old rooster's about had it. But that's one of our food sponsors for here at the fair. So there's people coming in. If you're coming in and you're listening, you can come by the water wheel and check us out. We're right here in the white booth on the left as you right below the water wheel. So come by and see us. We're going to be here for almost every night. So come by and see if you get a chance. And Calvin, that's going to do it for this report, and I'm going to send it back to you and the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
All right, thank you, Captain Ron. We'll come back about 6:30 and do maybe one more report there at the fair. All right, let's send it back to the studios for more of tonight's Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the studios. Kevin Hastings here with Dennis Davis and Shannon Allen and Dennis. All that talking about how much food they have and how much fun they're having. Ain't one of them said anything about bringing us anything, have they?
No.
Well, I need somebody to bring us some cherry pies from the fair. You're coming from the
Cherry
fair.
pie?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
He was just talking about
We'll be
that. I know
friends forever.
you guys didn't have your
I was just trying to. We were
your ears
discussing.
on. I was listening to Ron talk about all the food around him and roosters and everything. And Calvin came back and he ate everything he was supposed to bring back to us before he got here.
Well, of course.
So we didn't get none of that. So somebody bring us some treats or something.
He
like,
said them
fries.
He said them fries was really, really good, but we wouldn't know anything about that, Shannon.
I'm withering away over here.
Yeah.
Just turning into nothing.
With the wind blowing, I'm worried about all of us.
We'll get some rocks when
weekend.
you leave, so you won't blow away.
Yeah, I'm concerned with the wind blowing the way it is this week. That since nobody brought us anything, that we're going to be poor pitiful souls. But we're going to eat some Fats Cafe here in a little bit. At least
I started to say, I
care
hope
of us.
Fats will
They're taking
think
care of
kindly
us. I want to thank Nate and the gang over there. See him, the manager over there, and go check them out. Eat.
He's been bringing some good stuff, Kenny.
Yes, sir. I've been getting some honey barbecue chicken the last few weeks. It's been really good. I think Will and Steve both. Steve's going to come in later tonight, and Will both. They were going to try the ribs out tonight. I think.
Oh, really?
You were trying a chicken salad. Dennis,
Well, it was listed as pecan encrusted grilled chicken.
Okay.
I'm like Dr. Randy Davis said, he was on a diet. I think the keto thing. I'm trying to cut back because by the time I eat them ribs and some shrimp and chicken tenders, man, I about didn't make it home. I was, like a balloon swole up.
Well, good evening, everybody. Again, welcome to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. I'm going to let you guys start.
Yeah.
On some of the games for tonight, and then start in the bottom right corner. I'm going to run down the hall real quick and grab something before you guys get moving on that. Let's see. We'll go with first game for you guys. I know Wilkes Central at East Surrey. East Surrey, usually a pretty good team, right, Shannon?
Yeah, they made it to the semifinals last year in the 2A. So yeah, they're decent. And normally year in and year out, they're competitive and a force to be reckoned with in the western part of the 2A. Now, whether they'll go west to east this year, it's hard to tell. But, Dennis, I think they'll have no problem tonight. I think it's going to be like a 56-7 type game over Wilkes Central.
Well, I'm going to say that the Cardinals are a better bird tonight than the Eagle is. And that's not usually the case in real life. But the East Surrey Cardinals have been playing well. I think they continue tonight. I've got them down 42-14 over Wilkes Central.
Mm-hmm. Next was going to be West Henderson hosting the West Henderson Falcons hosting the Smoky Mountain Mustangs. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a thing on either one of those two. But what shocks me, or I shouldn't say shocks, but what stands out for me this year about West Henderson is they defeated Hendersonville, pretty much blew them off the map. I think second week of the season. Yeah. So apparently they know they've got something going on there. Don't really know much about Smoky Mountain. So because of that, and they're playing at home at West Henderson, I'm going to take them in this game. I'm going to say a 28-24 win over Smoky Mountain.
Well, I don't want to sound like a copycat, Shannon, but I'm going with the West Henderson Falcons, too, because of some of the things that you mentioned there about them. I'm not real familiar with this year's Smoky Mountain, but maybe the smoke will clear on them tonight. But I've got West Henderson 28 and Smoky Mountain Mustangs 20.
All right. Next game will be Watauga going to South Caldwell. Now, I do know something about these two teams. Both of them are 4-1. And, this will be the top two teams in that conference. Probably the conference championship. This will be played tonight. Watauga's averaging 35 a game. They're giving up 24. Maddox Green's their quarterback. I saw him play when they played at Burns.
He played both ways, though.
Yeah, he did. And he's averaging 60 yards in the air, but his damage is done on the RPOs, I guess you could say. He's averaging 114 yards on the ground. Now, South Caldwell, they're averaging 30 points a game, giving up 25. So they're similar in their averages. Sean Moore, how you say his name, is running back at South Caldwell. He's averaging over 150 yards a game. He has 8 touchdowns. And one thing that stands out for me with Watauga, they were big and they're physical. And the Burns was able to pull away late in that game. Burns' speed is what pulled away in that game.
Yeah.
But I think tonight Watauga goes down to South Caldwell, and I've got them winning this game. I think it's going to be South Caldwell. I picked them to win this game, 27-21, because I think South Caldwell has the speed factor more so than Watauga, and that's the reason Burns was able to beat them, because they were more athletic. So I think South Caldwell will win this one over Watauga.
I agree with you on the Burns and Watauga game. However, given a few weeks of practice and everything, I'm going with Watauga in this game, and I'm going to go with that 24 for Watauga and 21 for South Caldwell.
All
right, next game is Tuscola at North Henderson. Now, in this game, Tuscola comes in at 5-0. And they have outscored their opponents 217-54. They beat Madison, East Rutherford, Irwin, Hayesville, and Franklin. North Henderson, on the other hand, comes in at 2-3. They've been outscored 122-166. They lost 49-6 to Hendersonville. West Henderson and Smoky Mountain. They beat Owen and Rosman, however. Shannon?
Well, I think tonight, one thing that we're going to have to talk about for every game around here is going to be the wind. Especially if you go up in the mountains, it's going to be higher up, probably more windy up there. But Tuscola averaging over 40 points a game. They're going to be hard to stop. And even though they're going to North Henderson, I think they're going to be able to just pretty much have their way with them. I think they're going to win this one 49-7 over North Henderson.
Well, Shannon, we're going to agree on this one. I'm picking Tuscola to win, but by a score of 53-14. Because I think they'll play some of the kids that don't get to play much, and therefore North Henderson will get 2 touchdowns.
All right. So that means Pisgah at Franklin tonight here on the show. Franklin at 3-2. They've scored 96, give up 76. They beat Murphy, Cherokee, East Henderson, lost to Swain County and Tuscola. They lost last week, Tuscola 31-7 for you Tuscola people. We were just talking about you. Pisgah comes into this game at 2-3 as well, 109-101. They've lost to Brevard, Swain County, and Smoky Mountain. They beat Inca and Davy Crockett of Jonesboro, Tennessee. All by himself.
Yeah. So the one thing, Kevin, you mentioned stands out is Pisgah scoring 109, giving up 101. Points. That right there tells me that they have to pretty much it's a shootout. Make sure their offense can score more than their defense allows. And I mean, I know that's football, but with this, they're so close in numbers, and I think Franklin will be able to capitalize on that. I think it'll be a close game, but I got Franklin winning 24-21.
Well, in honor of John and Jim, who played at Franklin, and if you don't know who John and Jim is, they used to coach a little football here in the county at Shelby and Crest. Their last name is Taylor, and they were Franklin graduates. And Franklin, people at Burns know a little bit about them. And playing at Franklin, the Burns people can tell you that's not easy. They're vocal. They're loud. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with Franklin tonight in a score of 28-14 over Pisgah.
So if you wanted to know who would win in a fight between a Bear and a Panther, Dennis chose the Panther.
Well, the Panthers have won this week.
You must have chose the Koala Bear, right?
Yeah.
Kings Mountain is at Forest View this week. Kings Mountain 5-0 in the season. Number 2 on our power poll. 179 they've scored. Give up 40. Closest game they play, of course, the Shelby game. They won 28-26 against them. Forest View up and down year this year. 3-2 on the season. They've only scored 57 and give up 123, Shannon, and have 3 wins.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. Kings Mountain coming in, they're averaging 34, giving up 8. Quarterback Lamont Littlejohn, he's averaging 159 in the air. Running back Caleb Holland and Teddy Jeffries takes care of the ground game. This is what he's talking about. Forest View's averaging 11 points a game, and they're giving up 24. And they've won 3 ball games. How in the world that's happened, I don't know. Their quarterback is Jackson Hill. Do what?
Coaching 13-7, 20-0, 24-21. They pull out the close one.
Well, seeing Burns shut them out at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So that has a lot to do with that.
After 2 weeks, they were down 95-0 because East Lincoln shut them out week 2.
That's right. They played back to back. Their quarterback's Jackson Hill. He's averaging 123 in the air. Running back Christian Holland, he's got 79. He's averaging 79 yards a game. Dennis, I don't think Kings Mountain should have any problem tonight. I think they'll be more physical up front, especially on that defensive line. I think they'll win this one pretty easily, 56-10 over Forest View.
Oh, we're pretty close in our thinking here between the Mountaineers and the Jaguars. Kings Mountain's going to get 54, and Coach Lloyd's going to call off the Dogs, or in this case, the Mountaineers, and Forest View will end up with 14. So 54-14, Kings Mountain.
All right, Alexander Central tonight is at Ashe County. Alexander Central, 2-3. They've scored 67, give up 150. They've beat Hickory, North Gaston, lost to Reynolds, Lake Norman, and Marvin Ridge. Ashe County, 2-3 on the season. They've scored 157, but they've give up 191. Leaky defense there, Shannon. They beat Wilkes Central and West Wilkes, lost to North Wilkes, beat Mount Airy lost to Mount Airy and lost to Watauga.
Yeah, so Alexander Central, they're averaging 12, giving up 30. Quarterback Tanner Moore and running back Logan Shoemaker. That's their two main weapons, with Shoemaker averaging 70 yards a game. Ashe comes in averaging 31, giving up 38. Their quarterback Blake Peters, he's averaging 252 yards a game in the air. Dennis, I know both these teams are 2-3. And normally Alexander Central is going to be the more athletic team, but I think Ashe County pulls this one out at home. I've got them winning 35-27 over Alexander Central.
Well, my only advice for this game would be take your iPad with you so you'll have something to do while the game's going on. And I do have Alexander Central Cougars beating the Ashe County Huskies tonight, 24-21.
All right, so the next game on our list is West Iredale at East Lincoln. Shannon, the only question is, can East Lincoln name the score tonight?
Yeah, I think they can. West Iredale's averaging 11, getting up 39. They've got one tie this year. How that happened, I don't have a clue. But East Lincoln comes in averaging 33, giving up only 5 points a game. There's your difference maker. East Lincoln's led by quarterback Tyler Mizell. He's averaging 178 yards per game. And they also have a running back, Christopher Daly, who's averaging over 100 yards per game. So that's a good combination on offense. Both Daly and Mizell lead the conference in those categories, in passing and rushing. And West Iredale's not going to be able to stop them. I think East Lincoln wins this one 56-6 over West Iredale.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting game if you're a fan of Kings Mountain, South Point, or Crest, because they're probably going to see this East Lincoln crowd down the road somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I've got East Lincoln Mustangs roaring to life tonight, 64-12 over West Iredale.
High Brighton tonight, home against Freedom. 1-4 High Brighton. Freedom 3-2 on the road. You know, in the past, these two teams could be facing off each other at 5-0 or something. These down programs right now, Shannon. High Brighton and Freedom tonight. What you got?
Yeah, Freedom comes in averaging 30 points a game. They're giving up 23. High Brighton comes in averaging 33, giving up 38 a game. They're led by quarterback Kobe Wilson, who's averaging 90 yards on the ground and 70 yards in the air. So that's pretty much all they have there. But as he goes, High Brighton's going to go. So if you stop Wilson, you're going to stop High Brighton. And I think Coach Hahn, he's an old defensive guy, defensive coach from Shelby. I think he's going to get his fourth win tonight, and I think they'll easily defeat High Brighton 38-14.
Well, I think the Freedom Patriots are going to have a good celebration tonight because they're going to beat the High Brighton Panthers, who are not the High Brighton that we've seen in the past few years. Mm-hmm. They're going to beat them tonight 24-14.
Okay. So our next game will be St. Stephen's traveling over to Hickory, a Catawba County rivalry game.
Yep.
St. Stephen comes in at 3-2. Hickory is also at 3-2. And St. Stephen's is averaging 25 points a game. They're giving up 20 they're led by the running back Bryson Gaither, who's averaging just under 100 yards a game. He has 8 touchdowns. And their quarterback is Peyton Young, and he's averaging 141 yards per game. He has 7 touchdowns. So St. Stephen's can get the ball in the end zone.
Yep.
Hickory comes in averaging 29. They're giving up 28. And even though this game will be at Hickory, I still like St. Stephen's here for the simple fact they've got the ground game and the passing game where they have shown success this year. And I think their defense is a little bit better than Hickory's. I think it'll be a close game. And I think because those rivalry games always are, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. So I think St. Stephen's goes to Hickory, pulls out the win 28-27.
Well, we're agreeing it's going to be a close game. I'm going with St. Stephen's 32 and Hickory 28 because it's a rivalry game, and you get up for those kind of things, particularly when it's those kids that you know and see all of the time. Yeah.
So that's St. Stephen's will be at Hickory. So Statesville, next game will be Statesville Greyhounds traveling just up the road here. Also, is that Catawba County, Fred T. Ford? That is Catawba County.
Yep.
Yeah, to Fred T. Ford High School taking on the Tigers. And Statesville comes in at 2-3. Ford comes in at 1-5. I think, Dennis, this game will get ugly quick. Statesville's led by quarterback Noah Owens. He's averaging 94 yards per game. And they also have a running back named Zachy. It's either Zachy Lackey or Zachy Lackey. I don't know. Terry Grayson, a friend of mine, is listening. He calls him Zachy Lackey, so that's why I said that. So, but the Greyhounds, they're averaging 16 points a game, giving up 20. Now, Fred T. Ford comes in. They're only averaging eight points a game, and they're giving up 36. So, again, with Statesville's athleticism, even though it's a down year for the Greyhounds, I think they'll come there and they'll go back to 500 after tonight. And I think they'll defeat Ford pretty easily. I got them winning 63-6.
Ooh, scoring purge. I've got Statesville Greyhounds finally getting their legs under them and running a little bit. I had them at 28-6 over Fred T. Ford, and that's simply on the mercy that they're not going to try to run up the score.
Yeah, you're probably right more than I am on that one. So let me find my sheet here, Dennis.
Mountain Island Raptors at Winston-Salem Prep.
Yeah, and I don't think I did that game. Let me look. So anyway, so the next game is the Mountain Island Raptors against the who'd you say it was?
Winston-Salem Prep. Phoenix.
Last week, Mountain Island was defeated by the Community School of Davison, 56-6, and Winston-Salem Prep was defeated by Pine Lake Prep, 48-6. As both of these teams come in with a limp, a noticeable limp. But I think Coach Washington down at Mountain Island, I think he still got them going in the right direction, even though he lost a lot of players from last year, especially his main running back. And so Mountain Island, I think, pulls this one out. I'm going to say it's going to be like a 21-6 game over Winston-Salem Prep.
Well, Winston-Salem Prep is the Phoenix, and that's a mythical bird that, like Jesus Christ, arises from the dead. I don't think they're quite as good to rise from the dead this week. I think they're going to still play dead this week. So I've got Mountain Island Raptors and Coach Washington winning this week 21-14.
All right.
All right. We're going to take a break here in just a moment. But first, let's skip over to do Polk County and RS Central over in Rutherford County tonight. The Wolverines over in RS Central. Shannon, while I pull that up, you might want to go ahead and start on your.
Well, these two programs are no strangers to each other by any means. They used to play each other in the non-conference games every year, just being right across the county line from each other, Polk and Rutherford County.
Got it now. Polk 3-3, RS Central 2-4. RS Central at home tonight. They've scored 134. They give up 217 in 6 games. Polk County's give up 166, but scored 186. So shootout tonight, Shannon, between these two?
Well, I don't know if it's a shootout, but I think Polk County's got the advantage. They come behind quarterback Casey Beeler. He's averaging 164. And running back Angus Weaver, he's averaging 175 yards per game. They have a very balanced offensive threat. They're averaging 31, giving up 28. Kevin, those numbers you mentioned, RS is averaging 22. They're giving up 36. They're led by running back Malachi Costin, who's averaging 80 yards per game, and quarterback Trey Shearer. But Shearer's been hurt. I know a couple games ago. I don't know if he's full strength now. But I think, Dennis, Polk wins this one. They'll be too strong for RS tonight. Even though it's played at RS, I think Polk County wins it. I got it 35-17.
Well, I agree with you that I think Coach Hollis has got the Polk County Wolverines fired up a little bit. He wants them to show up and play hard. And the RS Central Hilltoppers are sputtering back and forth, if you will. Yeah. We'll put it politely. I have Polk County 24, RS Central 14.
All right, folks, it's time for a break here on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby, North Carolina Prep Football pregame show. When we come back in a few minutes, we'll preview the rest of the games here on KTC Broadcasting and talk about the games we got on the radio, and you can watch live tonight, highlights. There was CJ. Happy birthday to him from last weekend. We'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
There she is.
Cody? So you didn't get what I told you to?
Dad, I did my research.
Let's see what he can do. Not bad.
What do you think?
Not bad. Not bad.
So?
He likes it.
I knew he would.
Your Coyote dealer is Winston-Salem, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 West intersection in Vail. They've done it again. The Captain's Cap Family Fish House in Gastonia has once again been voted best of the best by you. There's a reason folks keep coming back, and there's a reason they continue being voted on best of the best by the people in Gaston County. And this year they're celebrating their 41st year of business, and they want to say thank you for your support. And right now they have several employment opportunities. That's the Captain's Cap Family Fish House, 3140 Linwood Road in Gastonia, online at thecaptainscap.com.
There's a brand new boutique now open in Shelby. It's Tilly's Boutique, now open at 1241 East Dixon Boulevard, Suite 1 in Shelby next to Hendrick Appliance. You'll find women's and men's clothing too, plus shoes and all kinds of beautiful accessories, including bracelets and earrings. Also shoes and ladies' formal wear at great prices. The new Tilly's Boutique, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard, Suite 1 in Shelby next to Hendrick Appliance. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday, Sundays by appointment.
Dina's Concessions has been a part of the Cleveland County Fair for years. Be sure to drop by and enjoy the great fair food found at Dina's Concessions. Tell Dina we said, hey, that's Dina's Concessions at this year's Cleveland County Fair.
Take on your next seasonal project with help from Bridges True Value. Start with driveway repairs. Right now, a 4.75-gallon bucket of Blackjack Dry Max 1000 filler and sealer, only $32.99. Prep for paint with a gallon of primer, sealer, and stain killer for $21.99. Keep up car and general maintenance with a gallon of antifreeze for $16.99 or a 14.4-ounce can of WD-40 for $9.99. Shop these bargains of the month while supplies last at Bridges True Value at the corner of King and Castler Streets in Kings Mountain. Certain exclusions apply. See store for details. For 19 years, South Mountain Farms on Flat Rock Road in Lawndale has been providing the goods and services to the Cleveland County food vendors. So if you like the good, fair food, then you can enjoy it year-round by visiting the newly remodeled South Mountain Farms. All of your favorite meats, steaks, hamburger, hot dogs, chicken, pork, and even seafood. Give them a call at 704-538-6610 and like them on Facebook too. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, South Mountain Farms. 351 Flat Rock Road in Lawndale. And once again, at this year's Cleveland County Fair. Are you ready for the colder weather? Well, Bill Shuford Heating and Air in Shelby can keep you comfortable all year long. They carry American Standard and Goodman Heating and Air Conditioning Systems. And right now, for qualified buyers, you can get a new unit for as low as $85 per month. See them for all the details. Cleveland County's leader in home comfort since 1983 is Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. Online at BillShufordHVAC.com and see their page at WhatsAppShopper.com. Get ready for cold winter weather with a stop in at Shelby Hardware. They have kerosene heater parts and they do kerosene heater repair. Check out their fire pits, plus wood stove piping, weather stripping, and insulation. Clear those leaves off with a big Billy Goat self-propelled mower or an Echo backpack blower. And see their selection of fall, Halloween, and sports flags for the yard. That's Shelby Hardware, 506 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. See their page at WhatsAppShopper.com. All right, it is 6:28. Hey, let's check back in with Captain Ron at the Cleveland County Fair. Ron?
That's right. We are at the Cleveland County Fair. It is the opening day, and people are really starting to come in and coming down down into the midway and going to enjoy the rides tonight, and also some of the great food that everybody's going to be eating tonight. And speaking of food, we've got some of our food sponsors we want to talk about. We want to talk about Sue Edwards Catering by the Creekside Clock, and they've got some great food, including barbecue sandwiches, plates and trays, barbecue nachos, chicken sandwiches, chicken tenders. They've got bologna sandwiches, hamburger and cheeseburgers, hot dogs, corn dogs, French fries. They've got chili cheese fries, hush puppies, onion rings, Philly cheesesteaks, nachos, chili, liver mush, and turkey legs as well. They also have some plates, a hamburger steak plate, also a barbecue plate, and chicken tenders. So if you're down that way, be sure and check in with them. Also, want to mention some of our sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Sweet Sensations, they are here at the Cleveland County Fair. Clay and Associates, located at 825 South Washington Street in Shelby. Angela's Seafood here at the Cleveland County Fair. Whiskers, Nails, and Puppy Dog Tails, located at 336 Washburn Switch Road in Shelby. Guns and Lead Therapy, they're at 5124 East Dixon Boulevard in Kings Mountain. Also, Deb Harden for Cleveland County Commissioner is one of our sponsors. Transportation Administration of Cleveland County, located at 952 Airport Road in Shelby. Oakey's Tire at 800 West Warren Street in Shelby. Robert Morgan Funeral and Cremation Services in Boiling Springs, and also the Rutherford Chapel in Forest City. They have a booth in the Go Forth Hall, and they're raffling off a TV. Also, Classic Volkswagen, East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. And that's just some of our sponsors making this possible. And I want to let you know some of the things going on, the entertainment for tonight. It is $8 admission for all adults, $5 admission for seniors, $4 admission for kids 6 to 12 years old. Now, at 6 o'clock, which is, I guess that just started, 6 to 8, Sylvia Fletcher is a ventriloquist outside the Weathers Arena. She's still performing her 6 o'clock show. Now, beginning now at 6:30, and again at 8:30, it's Victoria Circus. At 7 o'clock, and also at 9 o'clock, Renee Riddle and the Ramblers. I see them setting up right across from us right now, so they'll start at 7. 7:30 and 9 o'clock, it's Hot Diggity Dog and more. And Act Monsters Chainsaw Art behind the Go Forth Hall. He performs all day. Now, the gates of Midway will close at 11 o'clock. The exhibit hall closes at 9. Now, you can ride all day, all night. Armbands available for today, $16. So that's what's going on here at the fair. So, Calvin, a lot of people coming in. It's going to be a great night, and I guess people's trying to get over here before the rain comes in tomorrow.
Can't say that.
So come by and see us. We're in the white booth below the water wheel, and we'll be here most every night during the week for sure. So that's going to do it for this last report. I'm going to send it back to you, Calvin, and we will talk to you guys later.
All right. Thank you there, Captain Ron. Before we get back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, weather, let's check see what's coming up.
We continue to track in and the potential for impacts here locally. Cloudy skies tonight. The rain begins to move in. It's windy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Lows get down to around 60. Periods of heavy rain likely through the day. Friday, it's windy. We could have some gusts up to 50 miles per hour with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Scattered showers still possible Saturday with highs in the 70s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Holly's Flowers welcomes back the Cleveland County Fair. We've missed the fair, and it's the largest agricultural fair in North Carolina and a highlight of traditional activities. Holly's wants to thank all the hardworking people who make the fair a fun-filled success. Holly's Flowers, in business in Cleveland County for 46 years, is located in historic Uptown Shelby. They encourage you to go and enjoy this year's Cleveland County Fair. And when in Uptown, stop in and visit Holly's Flowers at 109 East Graham Street. They have a great selection of floral arrangements, potted plants, and unique gifts.
Steve's Gun Shop at 1603 Sixman Boulevard in Shelby is a local veteran and woman-owned business. They have a great inventory of rifles, handguns, shotguns, ammunition, and accessories, and they offer special orders on guns and ammunition. They carry new and used items and have a layaway program. They're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday 10 to 4, and Thursday 10 to 7. Stop in and meet their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Check them out at stevesgunshopllc.com or call 704-472-8650.
And good evening. Welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance North Carolina, Western North Carolina Prep Football pregame show. We cover the teams here out west. In our main coverage area is the Rutherford County, Gaston County, Cleveland County, and Lincoln County schools, and the teams that they play in their conferences. CJ failed miserably. Where's CJ? I said, look out the window, wait on my family, and help them bring the food in. And here comes my wife carrying the baby and a bag of food. So I got one kid to fire. CJ, fired. I hope you hear me talking. All you had to do is look out the window, and you come down here carrying an empty bag of fries. Failed.
He's a teenager.
He's failed.
He's a teenager.
He had
Typical
one
teenager.
job. One job. Help them bring the food in. Shannon.
Just don't even. You see what I deal with?
You have my sympathy.
That's why I lost all my hair. You know.
That's why.
That's why.
That's why. All right. Well, with that said, welcome back to the broadcast. Shannon, he was talking about there might be a lot of people at the fair tonight. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of Shelby fans tonight, considering they got Highland Tech.
But it's homecoming, so there may be a good crowd. Halftime, it'll disappear.
Yeah.
They'll go to the fair at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
they're going over there just to see Brent Pascoe's daughter.
She might win tonight.
I'd say 8. Remember, Shelby starts at 7, so it'd be probably 8 o'clock. Maybe 7:45 when that first half's over with.
Is that a running clock in the first half?
Probably. I'd say so. It may be the shortest game. I don't know, because Burns beat them 74-0. So Burns' game may have been shorter than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right. I'll let you guys start working on those, and I'll have to go hook up some guys down the hall for a minute. But we'll start with Highland Tech and Shelby there.
All right. So Highland Tech comes in, obviously the underdog in this game. They're only averaging 8 points a game, Dennis, and they're giving up over 50 points a game. Shelby has found a little bit of their stride back that a lot of people seem to think they lost this year. They're averaging 49 a game. I think Shelby wins this one easily. I've got it 70-0 over Highland Tech.
Well, when you play a Highland Tech and a Bessemer City and some of these other teams, you can get your stride back pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Shelby's going to be striding tonight. They're still trying to tell people those first games were just a mirage. That's not really Shelby. This is Shelby. And so we're going to go and we're going to put up 72 tonight, and we're going to let Highland Tech have 6.
72-6. All right. So next game, East Gaston 3-2 will be at Thomas Jefferson 0-5. East Gaston comes in averaging 21, giving up 18. Quarterback Trent Sherrill averaging 145 in the air, but I think he's hurt. I think he got hurt last week.
It won't matter.
Well, now I was going to say they do have a decent running game that can pick up that slack. TJ comes in only averaging 7 points a game, giving up over 40. TJ Dennis, last week they didn't have about 17 or 18 players.
Yeah.
On the sidelines, and so I think that's been a big problem.
New coaches, players graduated. They got a player at Virginia, and it's a different ball game this year.
And they may have had more than 17, but it wasn't many more than that. I think East Gaston wins this one easily. I've got them 30-12 over Thomas Jefferson.
Well, you're being generous with the 12. I'm going to go 7, and I'm going to go with East Gaston. They got that hungry eye of the tiger. I'm going to give them 34.
All right. Next game will be Patton Panthers at East Rutherford Cavaliers. Both teams struggling this year. Patton 0-5, East Rutherford 1-5. They're trying to find an identity. Both teams are. Patton comes in averaging 12, giving up 38. Their they have a running back, Trevor Smith. He's averaging 121 yards on the ground. That's really all they have. East Rutherford comes in averaging 7. They're giving up 41. I couldn't find many stats on East Rutherford, but I do like what Coach Russ is doing there at East, and I'm going to pick them to win at home tonight. I've got them 21-13 over Patton.
Well, I think you hit the key there. They're playing at home tonight. They've had a little taste of victory, and the kids now are going to believe what Coach Russ is telling them. This will work. This will work. Just be patient. And the fact that they've had that little taste of victory, they're going to like it a lot better. And who better to do that against than the Patton Panthers? I'm going with East Rutherford tonight with 14 points to Patton Panthers 6.
All right. Next game on the schedule, Ashbrook Green Wave coming in at 1-4. They're going to be traveling to North Gaston, who is 0-5. Ashbrook's averaging 19, giving up 19. That's what's remarkable about that. They're 1-4, but they're averaging 19, giving up 19. Explain that one. They're led by running back Carmelo Best, and the North Gaston comes in averaging 6. They're giving up 37. Their main horses are J.J. Gordon and T.J. Belton. Dennis, I think Ashbrook will win this one easily by the eye test. I saw them play over at Crest. I think they are physically they look like a good football team on the sideline. They're big, they're athletic looking, but they just
superior athletes to what North Gaston.
Yeah, it shouldn't even be close. I think Ashbrook will win this one 49-14.
Well, the 14 may be too generous.
It may be, yeah.
So I'm going to go with 10 for North Gaston, and I'm going to go with 40 for the Green Wave.
All right. Next game, Stuart Kramer will be traveling to Hunter Huss. Stuart Kramer's 2-3. Huss is 1-4. Dennis, this is a very important game when it comes to having a chance for the playoffs. You got to start looking at that now. And Stuart Kramer is led by quarterback Justin Rockamore. He's averaging 251. He has 17 touchdowns, but he has 10 interceptions. But he's also on the ground. He's averaging 72 yards a game. They're averaging 30, giving up 37. Huss comes in averaging 19, giving up 39. Javarian Hunt's their main guy. He's averaging 85 yards in the air and 100 yards on the ground. So basically, this is going to be a two-horse race. Which one's going to be better? Is it going to be Hunt or is it going to be Rockamore? And so I think Stuart Kramer has too many weapons for Rockamore to go to versus Hunt at Hunter Huss. So I think Stuart Kramer wins this one 40-26.
Well, my advice to Mr. Rockamore is just tuck that ball and run tonight.
Yeah.
Don't be throwing no interceptions. You're going to beat the Huskies. And this is, I saw somebody call this game even. And that's about where you'd go with this.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. I'm going to go with Stuart Kramer, 21, and Hunter Husk, 20.
21-20, close game. All right. East Burke will be traveling to Newton Conover. East Burke comes in at 2-3. Newton Conover also at 2-3. Dennis, this is another game you got to look at it for playoffs. You got to start, these conference games like this. A winner will be in a great position. And Newton Conover comes in. They're averaging 37, giving up 22. Quarterback Aiden Lugenholt, he's averaging 139 yards in the air and 70 yards on the ground. East Burke comes in averaging 23. They're giving up 28. Quarterback Ben Mast and Jacob Dellinger is their running back. That's their main horses for East Burke. But I like Newton Conover at home. I think they'll be more athletic, a little bit more than East Burke. So I think Newton Conover wins this one 24-21.
Well, they had a tough game last week, and they're looking to get back in stride and a little revenge and all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking at 28 for Newton Conover and 21 for East Burke.
All right. And our next game will be, where are we at, Dennis? Here.
Lincoln Wolves and Brandeis Trojans.
Let me find my sheet on both of them. LinkedIn at Bandy's. And I don't have anything on LinkedIn at Bandy's. So, Dennis, you want to take this one? Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Here we go. LinkedIn's 2-3. Bandy's is 2-3. Okay. Yep. I knew I had it somewhere, but Again, one of those games that may not mean much to anybody outside of those two teams, but this is huge when it comes to position, especially in the conference standings. Lincoln comes in averaging 12, giving up 20. Quarterback Andre Bost and running back Kimoni Heath lead the Wolves. Bandy's comes in averaging 25. They're giving up 24. Their quarterback is Wyatt Wesson. They have a running back, Elliott Spicer, and Nolan Jones, a two running back system there. But I think Lincoln, they're starting to pick up some steam, even though they've struggled here, with a bad call here and there against Bunker Hill. I'd like their speed here over Bandy's, and I'm picking them to win this one in a close one, 23-20 over Bandy's.
Ooh, close. Well, I think Bandy's, with that two-back system that you were talking about, is just a tad better than the Lincoln Wolves since they're playing at Bandy's. And I have it 28-24 Bandy's.
Okay. All right. Next game up, right?
Yeah.
Bunker Hill at West Lincoln tonight. Now, last week, West Lincoln fell 27-17 to Maiden. This is another team they lost to last year. West Lincoln 4-1, Bunker Hill 5-0. Last year's game, I'm going to pull up that score for you to look at real quick for the folks at home. Last year, Bunker Hill won 15-7 in this ball game. Again, they lost West Lincoln last year. Shannon lost in back-to-back games, 6 points to Maiden, 8 points to Bunker Hill in the regular season. Kind of what we were referring to earlier. So tonight, 5-0 Bunker Hill and West Lincoln. Does West Lincoln win it this year?
Yeah, I think it's a big game for the Rebels. They're coming in averaging 37, giving up 15. They're led by running backs Mason Avery and Jalen Winnix. Avery's averaging 197 yards a game with 14 touchdowns, and Winnix is averaging 108 yards a game with 3 touchdowns. So West Lincoln's going to run the football, plain and simple. He's got to stop it. Now, Bunker Hill comes in averaging 33. They're giving up 16. Their quarterback is Reddick Robinson. He's throwing for 158 yards per game. And Jason Willis Jr., he's averaging 211 yards on the ground for the Bears. I think this will be a great ball game, and one I think the home team's in favor here, just because of what happened last week. West Lincoln got that taste in their mouth against Maiden. They're like, we can't have that again. I think they're going to pull out the victory tonight, and I've got them winning 28-26 over Bunker Hill.
Well, if I were to go by Kevin's poll, Bunker Hill would be the prohibitive favorite since they're ranked pretty high.
Prohibitive. 3 versus 11?
Are you trying to talk me into picking West Lincoln?
Hey, well, I don't know where West Lincoln is, but West Lincoln
West
will be
Lincoln. Excuse me.
I'm just telling you might get cut by somebody in Vail. You say that.
It won't be Terry Reinhardt. His knife's a little dull. But I'm going with Terry Reinhardt's Lincoln Rebels in a very, very close game here. I'm going 24-21 with the West Lincoln Rebels.
All right. So Maiden at 4-1, they're traveling to West Caldwell 0-5. After a big win last week against West Lincoln, Maiden cannot have a game where they can just relax and take some times off. That's where you get bit. And they come into this game averaging 34, giving up 19. Quarterback is Wesley Thompson, averaging 223 yards per game with 13 touchdowns. Running back Ben Gibbs, he's averaging 112 yards per game with 7 touchdowns. West Caldwell comes in averaging 14, giving up 49. Their defense will not be able to contain Maiden. The run-up Culliver, North Carolina commit. I think that's going to be the difference maker in this one, and I think Maiden wins this one easily, 56-13.
Is the clock running yet in this game? Yeah. They should go ahead and start it.
Yeah.
I've got Maiden beating the Warriors tonight, 52-10.
All right, 52-10. So our next game, pull it up here on the sheet if I can find it real quick.
North Iredale and North Lincoln.
Yeah, North Iredale 1-4 going to North Lincoln. Well, actually, North Lincoln at 0-5 going to North Iredale 1-4. North Iredale comes in averaging 12, giving up 28. Quarterback is Will Akers. He's averaging 130 yards per game, and running back Sabino Marino. How's that for you?
Ooh, he's not from around here, is he?
No, he may be from South Shelby. That sounds like
okay.
I don't know. No, but he's in one game, Dennis. He got 160 yards in one game on the ground. So that's the one guy I think they need to put back there. North Lincoln comes in averaging 12, giving up 21. Their quarterback is Connor Carson. Running back Cody Morse, he's averaging 91 yards per game. I think this has been a tough year for North Lincoln. But I think I like their chances in this one and pick up their first win of the season. I think they'll win 35-28 over North Iredale.
Well, they got that new turf up there, and I don't know. North Iredale may not be used to playing on that, high dollar stuff like they've got up at North Lincoln. Yeah. And I'm going to give them a little break here. I'm going to go North Lincoln 27 and North Iredale 24.
All right. Let's actually, Kevin, we skipped one.
Who did we skip, sir?
Pine Lake and Christ the King, which is probably one of the best games of the night.
Is that the two that's like
5-0? They're 5-0, yeah.
Yeah, and we also skipped Community School of Davidson and Carver.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to go back to them or not, but
is that even that's not even on my list? Did I not put it in? I put Pine Lake and Mountain. I got that wrong on the list there on my scoreboard. I'll have to fix that scoreboard. Go ahead, y'all, real quick. We ain't got. Y'all got like 30 seconds on both of those. We're running out of time here.
All right,
moving right along.
All right, Pine Lake Prep 5-0, Christ the King 5-0. I think this will be a great ball game with one of the best quarterbacks in the. No, that's the wrong one. Anyway, Pine Lake. Let me start up. Christ the King 24, Pine Lake 20.
It's gonna be a close game. It's a good two good teams.
Yeah.
I've got Pine Lake Prep and Mountain Island Charter. Is that the wrong game?
They're playing Christ the King.
Yeah, the top game is wrong. They're playing at Christ the King. I messed that one up, Dennis. So mark off Mountain Island in your top right corner and write Christ the King in. For the folks keeping your scoreboards at home, that top right corner should be Christ the King. We'll update that here in a little bit between shows. Don't forget the Red Zone Radio channel. For you folks going to the games, going to be at the games, want to know what's going on in the area, we've got the Red Zone Radio channel tonight. And that's live 7:30 to 9:30. And what we do is we keep all the scores that we can update as much as we can. And then when highlights come across our Twitter feeds, we'll pull those up and show you the folks at home when teams just scored and how they just got there. So that's a fun, exciting time for us to have doing that. And then the postgame show, of course, tonight brought to you by North Carolina NC Full Throttle Power Sports of Lowell. And that will be after the games. Around 10 o'clock is usually when we about get started. We'll start about 10 online for sure. Radio sometimes gets in just a little bit later. So if you folks wanting to watch online, we will start that at 10 o'clock. Best we can, maybe 10:05. Just the 10 o'clock time is about post-game show. And we go off the air at night, folks, around 11:45. Now, remember, this is Thursday night football. So for you folks, this is a little bit different for everybody. So just keep in mind, if you got any questions, as always, give us a call. All right, Dennis and Shannon, where were y'all on the next one?
Crest and South Point. Somebody said they were playing football tonight.
Crest and South Point. Now, in the past, this has been a fullback fest, but Crest might throw it around a little bit tonight. He may hit Mr. Green a little bit. South Point comes in undefeated, though. Dennis, at home, you said it's already 7-0.
At least.
The Chargers pull it off tonight up in Belmont.
Well, my take on this is not going to make some people happy, but most of them live down in Belmont. The South Point Red Raiders have a huge, huge line up front, and they run the same kind of offense they've been running since Moses was a baby in the reeds over there. They're very good at it, and they're very efficient at it. I'm not sure what their secondary is like. They say they got a good secondary. Crest, on the other hand, can be sort of iffy, this, that, and the other, start slow. But, boy, when they warm up, they're like an old Buick. Man, they get it running. They hit on all cylinders. Watch out. Vroom, here they go. Crest Chargers 42, South Point Red Raiders 28.
Yeah, I think Crest comes in averaging 39, giving up 30, but that can be a little misleading there. Their quarterback's Natavius Husky. He's averaging 277 yards per game. He has 17 touchdowns.
How is that misleading?
They're 4-1. That's the reason, because normally there's a larger gap there, but their main
the defense is very leaky.
Main target. I'm not saying that. The main target's Javari Green. He's averaging 150 yards. He has 12 touchdowns. Crest can also run the ball behind Aiden Carson, Tank Ruff. Now South Point, averaging 40, giving up 10. Cam Medlock, 129 per game, and Patrick Blee, he averages 90 per game. Two very different style of offenses, two very different teams. South Point tries just to basically shut you completely down. Crest tries to run you completely out of the stadium. So I think it's going to be a good shootout tonight. I got Crest winning 41-35 over South Point.
Dennis, do you remember the scores from last year?
Which one? They played twice.
First game.
Crest came back and won by what? 1 at the end?
Yes, 27-26. Crest won.
Getting us the field goal.
And then in the playoffs, however, the Red Raiders win 34-27. They would lose the following week at Dudley 38-0. If that makes
a
you
lot of
Charger
people
fans
lost
feel
at
better.
Dudley, but let's give South Point credit for what they accomplished last year. They beat Crest at Crest the second time around. They had a practice game earlier in the season that Crest won at last second when it looked like they were going to get blowed out at halftime.
And ref called a holding call on Crest with 10 seconds left or something.
These are the two most important weeks of the season for South Point guys. They're at or home against Crest, and they're at Kings Mountain next week. So we'll know the next 2 weeks how the Big South's going to play out.
I still say Kings Mountain, South Point, Crest are the cream of that conference. And with all regards to East Lincoln, this is who you're going to see down the road somewhere. You're not going to the state championship game unless you beat all three of these schools.
Our matchups tonight on KTC Broadcasting, Dennis, we've got number 11. You were asking about that. It was 11 West Lincoln at number 3 Bunker Hill. South Point and Crest is number 9 Crest at number 4 South Point. In our next matchup on Waggy tonight with Paul Foster and Jonathan Bland, number 8 Chase 5-0 at number 5 Hendersonville. 5-1. Shannon, what you got on this one?
Actually, they're playing at Chase.
Oh, never mind. I did say that wrong. You're right.
So Hendersonville's averaging 40, giving up 18. Quarterback Elijah Gibbs averaging 203 yards with 10 touchdowns. They have running back Hezi Rudisel averaging 104 yards per game with 7 touchdowns. Eric Rashid is their main go-to guy when Hendersonville throws the ball. Chase comes in averaging 54, giving up 6. Quarterback Turner McSwain, he's averaging 83 yards per game. They have running backs Marquise McCombs and Jalen Rudisel. Don't know if McCombs is still hurt or if he's going to be able to play tonight.
That will make a difference.
Well, I don't know. I think Chase, with the success McCombs had last year, I think with that offensive line, they've actually, when you see one running back, granted, he's good, but the guy can come in behind him, and I think he can do just as well.
He's had a good time filling in.
Yeah, he has. And so anyway,
it's Brennan Austin.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a senior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so if he's out, they have Tavion DeRiesma at receiver, and I think he's going to be a game changer as well. Hendersonville beat Chase last year at Hendersonville, but I like the Trojans tonight at home. I think they'll win 35-31.
Last year it was 42-9 that Shannon's referencing there on that score. Go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I've got Chase at home, winning 34-28. So we're thinking along the same lines.
Both of you on the Trojans tonight. They've scored 269, gave up 38 on the season. Hendersonville scored 240, give up 105 on the season. Should be a great game up there on Waggy. We'll have that live on the Red Zone channel as well. And that brings up our last game. We've got Bessemer City Yellow Jackets and the Flying Jackets throwing the ball around. I like to see the ball get thrown around. Shannon, now, and when you play teams like this, you got Burns and Shelby, and I like the throwing around because, if you resort yourself to just all running against these bigger teams, it's really going to be bad. Got a chance to maybe score, and you never know when a DB falls down.
Right.
And beat a coverage. But Yellow Jackets tonight up in Burns. Hopefully it won't be too big tonight, as bad as Shelby and Highland. I think we'll do better than that. I think we might score a time or two on Burns tonight. Shannon, what you got?
I got Bessemer City coming in, scoring 25, giving up 27. Quarterback Jameer Holmes, he's averaging 157 yards per game. He has 13 touchdowns, 10 of them the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
So
he's been hot.
Yeah, he has. And running back Terrence Smith, he's averaging 53 yards per game. Burns coming in after a bye week. They're averaging 39, giving up 13. Quarterback Ben Mooney's averaging 232 yards with 13 touchdowns. Running back Jeremiah Norris is just under 100 yards per game. Burns should not have a problem in this game, honestly. I think they're just going to win easily. I've got Burns 56, Bessemer City 6.
Ooh. Well, this is not Highland Tech that they're playing this week. This is not Thomas Jefferson they're playing this week. There's no 5 touchdowns coming. They'll get some. Coach Devine and Coach Diamont are doing a tremendous job with the Bulldogs this year. And I have them winning 64-26 over the Bessemer City Bumblebees.
Also, Coach Jeter up here at Burns, too.
Yep.
He's a good fellow.
I will say this about whatever number Burns wants to score or might score, the defense-wise, we've seen – so Kramer put the ball in the air all over Bessemer. So if you're a bet man on L.J. Allen tonight, Shannon, I'm just saying he might have a big night tonight if you're looking up at the Burns area. And the other receiver, Kamari Surratt, right?
Ryan Thompson. Any one of those three. Surratt, Thompson.
I was just saying Ryan run the Wildcat. That's why I was thinking more on that for him, so he might get one of those. All right, McCombs is on the sideline in crutches, is what I'm told right now. So,
well, we did talk about his backup.
Yep. Brendan Austin will be there today.
And he's a senior, and so let the light shine on me. I think he was originally a Chase fella, and then this guy came over from East Rutherford a couple years ago with the COVID deal and the demise of the East Rutherford football at that time. And so he's hungry to show what he can do to some scouts and some other people. And with this kid being out, unfortunately injured, this is his time to shine.
Well, take your opportunities when you can. Real quick before Calvin gets ready to send us off, we're about to send it out to the stadiums tonight for the on the radio. Real quick, your top 20 from last week and now this week. Polk County at number 20, Bandy's 19, Shelby 18, East Gaston 17, Brevard 16, Newton Connor 15, St. Stephen's 14, Statesville 13, Forest View 12, West Lincoln number 11. The top 10, Hickory Red Tornadoes at 10, the Crest Chargers 9, Chase Trojans at 8, Maiden at 7, Burns at 6, top 5, Hendersonville 5, South, now the undefeated South Point at 4, Bunker Hill at 3, Kings Mountain at 2, and the number 1 team still, the East Lincoln Mustangs. I believe we're about ready to send it off out to the stadiums tonight with a final word here from the studios here in KTC Broadcast Studios. We'll see you Red Zone Channel at 7:30, Hendersonville at Chase on Waggy, Crest and South Point on WCSL and WHS. You can listen to Lincolnton at Bandy's on YouTube and watch Bessemer City at Burns on YouTube. We'll see you in just a little bit on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia has just gotten a whole lot bigger, and we mean a whole lot bigger. They have just purchased MS Power Sports in Gastonia and are now your dealer for Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, along with CF Moto, Yamaha, and Polaris. Golf carts, too. One big dealer under one big roof, plus a complete parts and service department. Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk off I-85 in Lowell, online